Hey there, David Hawk here. Today what I want to do is take you through the ATOMM Store and some of the files and just show you how you can make some of this stuff your own, because there are tons of designs already in here that you can use. A lot of them, most of them I think, for free. Some of them do cost money, but I wanted to share a backstory with you and how this kind of came about. First of all, I made these coasters for a show we did. I liked that one with the little Sasquatch. But a harvest show that we did back in October. And I wanted something to set these on so I could display them on my table. And I didn't really have anything spectacular. And what I thought was, if I had one of those phone stands that they make and got the little lip sticking out just wide enough for your phone, that I could use it and change it up. So I changed it up. You can see I made it. I got the hole in the middle so that these would fit. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so these would fit in that hole just so they didn't wobble, and it was wide enough that it held that up. It also, you can see the back piece, so this just slid through. There we go, and that was it. And then the coaster sat there, and it was a good display stand. But I had to modify this because this didn't exist. So what I did is I went into the ATOMM Store and I just searched. Again, if you haven't looked through this thing, check it out. You do have to be signed in to download something, but that's just making an account with xTool, so no big deal. Phone holders. Here's one. This isn't the exact one that I used, obviously, but this would be easy enough to make. But I'd really want to show you how to manipulate this. I've got two files I'm going to show you. The other one was this, and you can see inside the little slit for the thing, whatever you call that, the stem that we glued in. I'm going to show you how I changed that up too, because that file was really difficult. But let's start with the phone stand. So we go in. Something else I want to show you is this was made for a D1. I don't have a D1, I have an S1. It's what I ran this on. It's obviously, this is calling for wood. It's just basswood. If your machine will do that particular material, you can use this file. I did a video on that a couple of days ago, so check that out if you're interested. But I'll link it somewhere in this video too. But anyway, you could also make this out of acrylic if you want. If your machine say this was glass and your machine doesn't do glass, you could just change it up, do it out of acrylic, so you can still use the files. I want to make that distinction, because I think a lot of people think because this is done on a D1, you need a D1, and you don't. You just need whatever material your machine will do, and then, I'm clicking on wood. The other thing is you've got an option to download or open in xTool Studio. I always just open in xTool Studio because I can save it from there. All it's going to do is download the file anyway, and I don't need that. Here's the file. It says some kind of text function is messed up. This might be the wrong size, which that's no big deal. You just change it. I don't want the name in there anyway, so I'm going to just delete that. I'm going to get rid of the logo here. I'm going to move this up so we can see it a little better. And what I want to do, or what I'm going to do in this video, is make this out of that. And you can see we've got this slot on the side rather than in the middle. I really liked that one in the middle because it just worked great. It didn't have any wobble to it. It just slides in and it worked great. So first we got to manipulate this and get rid of that little slit. So to do that, select the image, go into edit with these little dots here, and then you can just choose the dot that you don't want, delete, and you can see the lines move back. You can do that with any of these. If I get rid of this, I'll just do it. It's gonna make that edge straight. So I'll say done. Now you can see that edge is not really rounded anymore. It's got almost a point there, and our slot's gone. So what we want to do now is create this piece, but again, I want to create it like this. This one, the image that I came up with or originally had had this piece pretty much done. This one doesn't, so I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch. But let's first see what width we are. I need to be, we're just going to remake this phone stand perfectly. So this one is 2.5 inches wide. The back piece is 2.5 inches wide, so we're pretty close there, but let's just do 2.5. Okay, and now let's see how tall. I wish I had a tape measure rather than just my caliper. So we're 4.7 or so high. So let's get rid of that because make us 4.7 high, but held it together. Doggone it. I thought I'd unlocked the aspect ratio. Now we're unlocked, so let's do 2.5 again. All right, now we've got this piece set. And this little opening is good for if it's on an uneven surface, just the 2 feet are going to rest. It's just going to make it a little more solid. So we've got that. Now what we need is a slot for this piece. And I'm going to do that. This piece I think was, okay, I've got it at 1.8. So what we want to do is come over here, grab a square. Here we go. Okay, and we want 1.8 wide. And for a thickness, I'm going to unlock the aspect ratio. For the thickness, you want whatever the thickness of your base or your material. Oh, something else I wanted to show you. I made this too out of bamboo. So you can see it worked great out of bamboo. I did this because I held up some cutting boards and this basswood wasn't strong enough. So you can do this, again, out of any kind of material. The difference is just the thickness of this hole. So if I measure this, it's just 0.107. So if I make it a little bit bigger and I just do 0.112, that'll give me enough width that this can slide in. It can be a little bit loose like that so it can just fit in there. Something else you want to do, I made this mistake when I did the bamboo. I measured one piece of bamboo and I made it. This one worked great. The others didn't. It wound up the thickness of the bamboo was not all the same. So make sure you check all your pieces that you're working with. So anyway, okay, now we just want to get this in here and it looks centered, but let's double check and make sure. Horizontal center. Okay, now we're going to group it so that everything's held together. All this is a cut file, so we want to keep it on cut. And now we need to make this piece. So what was the width that I made that? Was 1.8, so I'll need another square. I'm going to do, I've got 1.8 wide, so I'm going to do 1.75 so that the width fits. Get rid of that. And now all I really want is this width here, which is, where is that? 3.15. So here we do 3.15. Okay, now we've got that. And you can also double check it. Yeah, check it here and you can see that it's going to fit in that hole. So we've got the square piece. Let's put the tabs on it. For that I need another square. And I need it to be 2.5 wide. Alright, so 2.5. So 2.5 wide, and then to fit, what I did was I just measured these coasters to see how far that was, and what I've got there is almost 1.6. So I'm going to make that 1.5 because 1.5 is going to give me enough. So let's double check. I think that's what I did. I actually did just under that. But that's going to give me enough to where those tabs don't stick out, and you know it's really close, but it doesn't stick out. So let's just do height. We'll do 1.5. All right, now what we can do is grab both of these and do a unite. No, subtracted overlap. That's what we wanted, subtracted overlap. So here's what I've got now. Now I need one more. Actually, I'm going to need two more. But what I want is that 1.5. I want, yeah, there. I want, ooh, forgot to change the overlap. So I want, let's just see what I did. By the way, if you don't have a good set of calipers or worth getting, I need a digital set. These don't do metric, and there's some that I've had for years. So I just did 1.3 wide on this. So I'm going to go back with that because we're remaking this thing. So 1.3, we can leave it as long as we want. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure it's centered. And then I want to pull it just kind of right about there. And then we can do, I believe, just subtract. And boom. Now we've got this piece other than this little loop down here. And the way I did that was I grabbed this, spin it. I didn't bother measuring that. I just got it to a size I thought I liked. Pick it up there like that. And then do another subtract on it. And now we've got this piece rebuilt. And it's ready to go. I did put, obviously, I put our logo on there, but that was just, I just brought the image file in and ran it. So that's how to manipulate anything, I say anything, but most anything on the ATOMM Store. And you can do this with all of these files. So you've got so many options in here. It's just wild. But that's cool. Hold the coasters. Little tree. Anyway, let me get to the other file because something that I had, this pumpkin lamp. This thing was it is a crazy file. And I say that because this is actually what I ran, but this thing, if you can see, you should be able to see, whoever made this went to great detail on making it, but if you probably can't see because I'm way down here on the screen. So let me get up here. Check this out. You can see that piece highlighted. This is, I don't know how many pieces this is, but every piece is individually done. So it's just insane the amount of detail on it, but it also makes it very hard to manipulate. You can see I grouped that one. The other thing that I didn't like, look at this. This is, again, every piece is different or its own unique piece that's been put together. So it makes it really hard to manipulate. And this didn't have a tab on it. I did put a tab on mine, and you can, let's see. Here, yeah, you can see I put a tab on it. I made it all one piece. So what I did to do that is I grabbed this piece. I did offset, and I did 0. Oh, that didn't work. What did I do? Maybe I grouped it. Now I did offset. That's not working either. Why is that not working? I swear this is how I did it. Okay, now we've got an interesting situation because for whatever reason that is not coming out right, obviously. let's see, what would you do in this situation? I've got everything grouped. I got the whole thing, right? Yeah, I got it grouped. Trace is not an option because of how this is made. I suppose what I could do, let's do the offset again. Maybe that's what I did. Is that what I did? And I just did point, oh, try that. I guess that's what I did. All right, so doing the whole thing, you can see you come up with some oddities with xTool Studio. This was the one that we did, so that's the original. Let's move that out of the way. Now we've got this that we can make into a cut file just fine. Still doesn't have the tab. So what I want to know, you can see even this little thing was not one piece. So if I look at this, it's 1.371. I'm just going to do, because again, pain in the neck, all these pieces. But what we can do is just make a new one. What I say, 1.371 by, okay. Again, I'm way off the screen. Sorry about that. So here, like you said, you can see it's just all crazy that it's 4 pieces. 6. Sometimes you can't count early in the morning. Early in the morning here anyway. So 1.371 by 0.114. So let's just make that 1.371, and then 0.114. Okay, now we've got that. We'll turn it into a cut file so I don't forget later. We'll get rid of that. And now we can bring this in. Let's see, get it centered, and we're good to go. So now we've got the one piece, much easier already. And then, like I said, 1.371, so I can make another square. Bring it up here, and I can make this 1.3, say 6. So we're a little bit shy of that. And then I don't really care my depth so much. I guess I'm looking mainly for, I don't want to go too far through the, that was basswood, by the way. So my basswood is 0.017. So again, let's just do, unlock that. Height we'll do 0.16, just so we know that it fits. We're going to need to make this a little wider, because originally this piece was set to fit down inside of this hole, and it just slid. That's why I didn't like it. It just slid inside, and then you'd have to support it somehow, and just a big pain in the neck for no reason. Almost said something else. So let's do this at 1.5. Let's make this 1.5 wide. We'll do 1.5. Okay. And now we can get this centered the best we can. There we go. And you can also, again, you can use this, not that, align center. There we go. And now we'll just do the subtract. Oops, wrong. We'll do the subtracted overlap. That didn't work either. That's your problem. Unite. It's united it. For some reason, it hasn't subtracted that. And I guess that's got something to do with the way I had to make it, and it's wide for whatever reason. But we can go in and just edit here like we did in the last one. Delete that. Delete that. I'm going to have to make this wider. I can't see it. Pull that back down. So this can get a little bit tedious, as you can see, but still, it may just be what it takes. For whatever reason, that doesn't look like it's coming out. Oh, look, we've got the, that's why. Now I've really messed it up. But we've got the two lines. Okay, so here we go. Let's go in here and get this. You know what? Let's stop because, well, get the scissors, get rid of this. I really messed this up. So what I want to do, I've got it completely messed up now. But what I want to do, this is why I do things live, so you can see that it can get messed up. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to start over, do my offset, take this down to 0.01, generate, confirm, get rid of that, get rid of that again. And see, I guess I could, I don't know, I suppose I could probably do it with this one. Let's try and do it with this one, shall we? Since I've got it grouped, why not? What do we say? We wanted a 1.5 wide. Okay, and then we need the square that is, what's our, I can't remember what our so let's do 1.36 so that it'll fit down in there. Take it up, get it centered on that. Okay. And now let's see if, oh, you know what? I was doing it wrong. Duh. Because I did, what was our, back again, I can't remember. Let me take care of this first. Edit. So I'm going to try and get rid of one of those outside lines. And this works, you can see it turn blue. Or I suppose you could go in and uncheck the dots, but if we do that, it's going to be a little difficult because I can't see, I can't really see that dot very well. So tedious. Let me see how we did. I still have a few up there. Let's see if this, okay, that's a little easier. Get rid of that. I keep forgetting that they put that in there, the edit compound, and I can see a little bit of that thing on the corners here. To get rid of it, get rid of it. Alright, so we're straight on that now. Let's take it down just a little bit. Now bring this back. Okay, center it. Let's see if we can't just do yeah, subtracts it all the way. I never get these things right. Yeah, it's luckily there's the, there it is. Luckily there is the undo button. So that was my issue. I had the two lines. You had to figure that out. Oh, look at me. After all that, I go my back button. I was trying to take the size down a little bit. But anyway, that's how to do that. A little bit convoluted, but let's go through. You want to do it one more time so that we can just go through and do it without, let's not, because I'm going to have to copy the whole thing and it'd just take too long, I think. Let's not make the video any longer. But now that piece will fit in there. It's got the tab, so it's going to overlap a little bit and it's going to hold. So that's how to manipulate things that you get out of the ATOMM Store. Again, if you haven't looked through this thing, take a look. It has got just amazing amounts of stuff. You've got jewelry. You can really search a lot of different things. Earrings, these coins, that's cool. You got the earring hanger. Again, key rings. You just got, there's a ton in here. Oh, that's cool too. Look at that. My wife would like those Valentine's Day earrings. I may have to make those. Let's download those now. What's it doing? Drop earrings. Cut tint. Okay, XCS and SVG. That's interesting because that's the first time I've come across that, but you can obviously download an SVG. So even if you don't have an xTool machine or you're not using xTool Studio, you can download that SVG. So there we go. Now we're getting some earrings. Hey, keep an eye out because these will be a Valentine's present for my wife. She doesn't like chocolate. How crazy is that? It's very difficult getting something for a woman who doesn't like chocolate on Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you know anybody you think this might help, please share it with them. Sorry it took so long, and sorry that last part. Sometimes let me know what you think. Should I have taken you through that whole process and let you see the whole process, or should I have just cut to the chase once I figured out what I was doing and do it? I think it was important. I made the decision to go ahead and do it because I think it was important to show you exactly how I did it and get everything out of there. And I did it obviously from scratch. I didn't practice it. It's something that hopefully was helpful. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, if you know anybody that you think this video might help, please share it with them. And, oh, if you would, leave me a comment, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and I am looking to grow this channel. I'm looking to connect with more makers and just see what we can do. So, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video again. Sorry for the length, but I think I had to do it. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.